The problem with the Manscaper though is that it doesn't have a good lifespan. Do you find that? Is it just a cheap
still on
product?
my first Manscaper lawnmower. I bought two. I've had to buy two nose hair trimmers from them. The first one
fucking nose hair trimmers go fucking shitty so fast.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh my.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Let's start it off first of all with the fact that I'm drinking again. So let's
Congratulations.
cheers.
Right.
Welcome back to the fucking Thunderdome.
Cheers, everyone.
This is my first Jaeger in a long time.
I got a new old man problem.
Oh yeah? Hemorrhoids?
No, it's actually not a new old man problem. It's a recent realization. As I've gotten older, my penis looks more like an hourglass. You guys have this issue?
Yikes.
No, mine hasn't evolved to that point as yet.
Mine could be in a fucking Encyclopedia Britannica under beautiful penis.
Have you?
Mine's a fucking work of art. I'm not joking. It's not. I'm not
has
saying
it changed since you were, like
hell no. I mean, it's gotten. You know how like your ears as an old man get bigger, your nose gets bigger.
Yeah, your penis.
It's gotten longer. Yes. But I'm not the guy who's sitting here trying to say how large I am, but I am sitting here telling you that it's, as far as those things go, mine is gorgeous.
So let me say that you know what they say, right? Guys with
hourglass penises,
guys with big shoes
have big hands,
have big feet.
Sure.
So I'm going to say that I
coming
I
from
would
somebody
say
with
that
a size 7.5.
There's a direct relationship with the amount of weight I'm carrying at any time. It's inversely related to the size of my penis.
That's just,
like the skinnier you are, the bigger your penis is.
Yeah, that's just how much you can see.
No, I think the fat tends to just kind of consume the area as well. It's not just the tummy.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
we're making everybody puke right now, man. That sounds
I must
gross.
say that I have been fortunate since January to be watching the amount of bad food I consume, and I've also dropped the amount of alcohol I consume.
Yeah.
And as a result, I've lost probably over 20 pounds.
Congratulations.
And
cool.
the net effect of it is that, I'm feeling better endowed.
All right. I'll get you
In
fired
areas
up.
that,
and don't you don't, I think we've discussed this. You don't do any sort of manicuring down there. You just let it grow like a wild fucking...
Oh, no, I'm completely manicured.
Completely shaved?
No, I'm just, I make sure that I'm well manicured.
Oh, okay. All right.
I take care of myself.
What's your tool of choice?
Well, I have, the
Manscaper?
The
Electric
Manscaper.
razor? Oh,
Yeah.
Manscaper brand.
Yeah.
Oh.
The lawnmower.
I'm not sure what it is, but
Weed
the thing
whacker?
is, the problem with the Manscaper though is that it doesn't have a good lifespan. Do you find that? Is it just a cheap
still on
product?
my first Manscaper lawnmower. I bought two. I've had to buy two nose hair trimmers from them. The first one
fucking nose hair trimmers go fucking shitty so fast.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know.
bought an expensive one and it went.
Yeah, I'm
down.
the same with all of those tools. I find they just have a very short lifespan. I would say, I want to say embarrassingly 6 months, but a year it just doesn't work.
I use a razor blade.
I
use
switched
a Harry's
my-
facial blade because there's nothing down there.
I switched my nose hair trimmer. I was using AA powered.
Yeah.
And I feel like being in the shower room with the humidity, it fucked with the batteries and then fucked up the inside.
Could be.
So I switched to rechargeable with USB, and I think I'm getting longer life out of the.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But the Manscaper, yeah.
Nice.
You ever nicked anything?
No, I'm very careful.
I've had I use Harry's blades.
I'm imagining PR right now in his Captain Morgan stance in the bathroom.
I feel like he'd have a whole system of mirrors.
So everything that I do, and I think I've
So that
mentioned
he
this
can
to
see
you
the
guys,
fucking
I'm
asshole.
very deliberate in all the kind of mind-numbing things that I do. For example, I've taken folding towels, after I, take them out the dryer. I get it down to a fine art. You know, where all the lines, the labels on the inside, it folds perfectly. They all have to be stacked perfectly.
I'm the same way, by the way.
When I pack the dishwasher, it all has to be done perfectly. I rinse everything before it goes in. All the plates, all the side plate, the cups, the glasses, everything has to be in its place. And you know, and even when I take my cutlery out, so the knives and forks, when I take it out and I place it in the drawer, you know, the forks and the knives have to be. I mean, it has to be perfectly.
Dude, I
set.
think this is. I don't think this is a weird thing you're saying.
No,
I think this is
you
great.
guys are weird as fuck.
You think?
What do you just?
Well, so I definitely
You're like a caveman. You just
definitely
have fucking instruments and tools laying around.
definitely pre-wash before it goes in the dishwasher, right? But it looks like a raccoon on meth.
Nah.
Threw it.
No,
threw it.
my
I
dishwasher.
do not.
It's basically I wash it in hot water and soap before I put it in a dishwasher.
Yes.
Yeah, I want it hot.
But I stack the dishwasher perfectly, and when I take it out, it has to be all, you know, the knives and forks are set. Like I have probably with my forks, for example, I have 2 different sets. You know, as we've gotten along, some of them just disappear. I don't know how they do, but they disappear. So you get another set, and it has a different pattern. I've got to make sure that the patterns are set in the same way as the other patterns, and the same with the knives.
I also ordered a shitload of chopsticks, and I just use one like wooden chopsticks once and throw them away, so I don't have to fucking use silverware all that much.
So interestingly, one of the things I did when I went to Japan is I got myself, a set of chopsticks. Each one of us did anyway, with our names written in Japanese. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but you're moving. That's not the purpose I was talking about. I like to do it because it's like disposable,
and it's wood,
fucking spotlessly. Yeah, it's totally biodegradable.
Can you eat with a metal chopstick?
I can. Yeah,
you can. It takes some.
I have a nice set as well. If I make like Japanese food and we want to enjoy the Japanese food experience, but for normal like breakfast, lunch, and stuff, I like to use the wooden chopsticks, easy to throw away, and it's like the increased dexterity. I feel like it's something added to the meal. I go slower, which then I eat less. Talking
about showers, one of the things that I love having a shower, right? And I typically tend to spend quite a bit of time in a shower, not doing things that are crazy. But I find
when you justify
when
that,
you say not doing things that are crazy, you're doing things
telling
that are crazy.
everybody.
No. What I like, I use the shower time, and I don't know when you guys.
You have any toys
when
in
you
your
do
shower?
that? No, my shower time
like a
is
plunger,
my quiet time.
Oh,
so I use my shower time to have my epiphanies, to have the kind of thoughts that I'd like to have. It's almost my time to reflect on my day, to think about, because the rest of the time I find that I'm just rushing. I'm on a treadmill. I'm kind of going from A to B to C to D. I've got things to do, right? I find the shower though to be very calming, and a time when I'm not competing with anything other than just wanting to be there.
Well, I like that idea, but I think if my penis was shaped like an hourglass, I would have panic in the shower. So let me ask you, what do you? So I'm thinking of an hourglass right now.
Yeah.
So
it's like certain times of the day when
so you're
it's
saying
like it's suffocating itself.
So you're saying it's like larger at the base, and then it gets skinny, and then it's got a big, thick, wide head at the bottom of it. Is that when it is erect?
Nope.
Only when it's soft.
Old man soft.
Old man soft. God, that's disgusting. Ugh. Gross. Shit is gross.
And it's not like it just showed up one day. It's slowly being morphed into more of an hourglass.
Well, how narrow do you think it will get?
I don't know. Not much more.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if I could project the.
Could you think the one half
the ratio of narrow?
It's fucking weird.
Could you think the
man.
front half could just break off at one point?
No. That might be one of the first times that PR's ever razzed me.
I know. There you go. Look at him. Look
Well,
at
if
him.
it's an hourglass,
shots fired.
There you go, man. Take your fucking shots, man. I mean, if you're willing to admit you have an hourglass shaped dick, it's whew. No, I don't. I have not noticed that. It to me, it looks the same as it always kind of has. I mean, at least to me, which is, as I said,
girthy,
gorgeous. Like it's
a work of art.
It could be Michael
Hey, listen, my sense that I don't understand why any woman would ever find a penis attractive.
I
just
agree
find
with
it
that.
to be the most awful, ghastly.
I mean, we've talked about that. That's why I shave everything off.
Gee.
Is because in my expectation, I'm like, if I want somebody to put this thing like in their mouth, or to me, a woman, when a guy gets undressed, is like, oh God, all right,
Yes.
let's go. Like to us, we see a woman, it's like a work of art.
Yeah.
It's a thing. There's been a lot of skits about this, like Seinfeld, they have a skit. There's multiple skits, but women, I feel like look at a man is like, God damn it, this is what I have to fucking deal with right now. So my goal is to make it not unseemly, like as clean as it could look. Like what you see is what you get. And that's why I go all the way down to nothing.
I keep getting in trouble in public because, and you know,
because you're showing people your hourglass sheep.
Yeah,
they're like, "What the fuck is that?"
Have you seen my watch?
Yeah.
No. I keep saying. So I'm from Kansas. It was ingrained to me at an early age to say, "Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am."
Mm-hmm.
I keep calling counter attendants that are identifying as they and them, sir and ma'am, and I've been catching some shit for it. So, but I'm stuck because I was raised to say that, and in the back of my head, it's like, holy shit, I need to say,
sir, ma'am.
Yeah, but then the person across the deal has a fucking rainbow button on that says they them, and my name is Sage, and I'm like, yes, sir. And they're like, and they give me a eat shit look.
Well, you're an intelligent guy. I'm sure you pick up on things. If you notice the ribbon or the fucking shirt that says,
well, I said
Cowboys butts drive me nuts.
I said yes,
maybe
sir.
Think
first,
for a second,
and then my eyes
and
drifted down to the button.
Okay.
So then when I went and picked up my order, and that person that looks like a man to me shows up to drop my coffee off, I addressed that person by the name on their name tag instead of thank you, sir.
I mean, I think as long as your intent's fine, then that person's going to have to understand that there's a certain level of disconnect that's always going to happen. I mean, we live in a culture that has had that for so long, and you, with true intent, it sounds like, are trying to be respectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I think that in that specific situation that you're explaining, they need to.
My comment
understand.
to that, Trevor, would be that I think we must stop being so overly sensitive about just everything. You are being who you are. You're being respectful in that situation. And if you are being respectful,
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
The interaction, no sweat off my nuts, no sweat off my hourglass penis.
So it's,
it's more of like the perceived response from the other person.
Yeah.
I do think that everybody should be more accepting because we have had certain things ingrained to us since we were little kids, right? And it's just going to happen.
Your situation sounds like you are not offending that. To me, it sounds like you encounter somebody before you noticed clear tells, or if they didn't have clear tells. Like if you're telling me that you walk up and you see somebody who is making a clear attempt at being unidentifiable, and you say it like out of spite, that's one thing. That's offensive. But if you're walking up having a normal conversation with somebody and they go, oh, actually, it's they, them. If they get upset with that, I think that's on. It's like walking up to somebody and being like, oh, Mr. Brown. And you go, oh, it's Dr. Brown. Oh, all right, cool. Like if you were a doctor and you're like, it's Dr. Brown. All right, cool. I'll call you Dr. Brown from now on. There's no way you could have known. Now, if you run around in a white fucking overcoat with a stethoscope and a fucking one of those big mirrors on your head, it would probably be more normal for you to be like, oh, Dr. Brown, or a name tag that says Dr. Brown. So I think if you are observing normal social cues, you're doing the best that you can, and you're being respectful about it. If somebody gets upset because you don't call them by the right thing, I think that's on them. It's not on you.
Yeah.
I want to know, so I saw a meme the other day, pretty funny, definitely at somebody's expense, which most memes are. The meme was a split screen of like 5 Asian transvestites that really looked like beautiful women, and then 5 American transvestites that looked like wet dog shit. So the comparison is saying that, or the caption said something to the extent of like, Americans are fat and lazy and getting this wrong. So it's saying like, okay, that's the meme, but it sparked a chain of thoughts. And having this beautiful window outside the barbershop in these restaurants, tons of people walk by here during the day. I love people watching. I love trying to figure, I create a narrative in my head about maybe what's going on.
Yes. Yes.
After this meme, I saw a significant amount of genderless people, and I have to somewhat agree with the meme. They looked like dog shit. It becomes like an obnoxious. Instead, do you get where I'm going with this?
Well,
like,
I have problems with the whole premise. So to start off, if they're showing you random, first of all, the Asian culture is very much more likely to be thin, more likely to be youthful looking, just the way that it is, based on just facts. But more importantly, you don't know the context with which the transvestites they're showing you. There is a lot of money to be made for being like, they could be showing you the most gorgeous ladyboys that Thailand has to offer. Yeah. Meanwhile, they're showing you just random run-of-the-mill people.
Well, but I guess where I'm going, forget the meme. I'm looking at real-life people outside on this street, and I am, like, if you're going to go for it, where's the 100% effort to be?
Dude, they're probably the same percentage as normal people. Most normal people are fucking ugly. Most normal human beings look like shit. Most normal Americans are fat and disgusting. Like, that's what America is. So I think it's probably statistically the same. You just notice it because they're dressed funny.
Okay.
But I think you walk. I mean, however, I can tell you, I see where maybe the context could get crossed. You are in Hannibal Square, Winter Park. Like, you do not see an accurate cross section of the normal American.
Yeah, yes and no. I could. That's debatable. I do oftentimes get judgy, and I sit here and the Jam Hot Chicken, which is out front. It's a Nashville hot chicken place. Delicious food. It does attract a certain user.
Yeah.
And the judgmental part is I'll be sitting at the front counter and somebody will come out that should not be eating fried chicken and eat the fried chicken, and I'll be like, you don't need that.
This place uses Bell and Evans fucking beautiful chicken breast. It is fucking $19
and peanut oil.
Okay,
whatever.
That is not an accurate cross section of American culture. You fucking Popeyes in Eatonville or Popeyes in Castleberry.
I get
that is a fucking
but
accurate cross section.
My view is people getting fried chicken in Hannibal Square. That's not Park Ave crowd. There is definitely a distinct group.
It's still higher than the average person going to buy fast food fried chicken. It is. I mean,
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, like, I do have an interesting cross section.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can get interesting people watching no matter where you're at, and totally, I see what you're saying. I just would argue, I think probably within the community that you're talking about, I think it's just an accurate cross section. I think just because you've woke up one day and you're like, I feel like I'm actually a woman trapped in a man's body, doesn't necessarily mean that all the work in the world could make you attractive. I also don't think that automatically means you have the desire to put all the fucking work into it. There's a shitload of women who wake up every day, don't put a lot of work into the way they look. A lot of men wake up every day, don't put a lot of work into how they look.
I guess at the core of it, it really has nothing to do with the specific topic of
hourglass penises.
Deciding to like have a vagina but dress up like you have a penis or vice versa. It is the effort that is being put into the deal. Like, if you're gonna make such a bold statement, why not make it the best statement in the world and beautiful and
I think, and then what I'm arguing is those are mutually exclusive. Somebody, what you're explaining is somebody who has drive. I'm sure there's people in the trans community that have the drive to actually be attractive and do what they want to do. There's also probably a lot, and I would argue a lot more, that feel as though they're a woman, but also don't have the drive to be attractive and be on top of things. Just like most people don't have the drive to give a shit what they look like.
I think the point, though, that I'm not sure whether Trevor's trying to drive that is that what I find is that gay men, for example, my sense is that probably almost all of them, but let's say safely more than 50% of them, really take good care of themselves. They've chosen to have a certain sexual preference. So on average, I would say that straight men, most of us, don't take very good care of ourselves, and you can see a straight man from a mile away. A gay guy, you could almost from a mile away say that guy's gay, and you know why? Because he takes care of his hair, he takes care of he manicures himself.
Why are you pointing at me right now?
No, I'm talking to you, but so I would say that and a number of people have thought that I'm gay, right? Have come up to me and offered to do
kiss you on the lips,
perform certain acts of
you've had
violence.
Hang on a second. Before we get into full like gay panic while we're here, are you saying that you've had an unwanted sexual explicit advance?
Yeah, more than once. But once, the most uncomfortable one though is when I was in college in South Africa. I used to, as part of my kind of my DJ thing, I used to also be an announcer at a supermarket chain, announcing all the at the information, the promotions at the store.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, if there's like a special on aisle 13 or whatever it is,
I need a price check on the manager. Vagisil.
No, the manager will come to me and
Vagisil,
say,
price
that would
check.
be done at information. But when they
that wasn't even your part.
No, when they want a promotion, say they want to have a promotion of something that's going on for sale for the next hour or whatever. They would give it to me and I would read it out and promote it for the period, right? And so there was this one guy that came, and I was probably 19 or, ish around there, or 20. And the guy came, he used to come into the store. I haven't told anyone this, so please keep it between yourselves. And
then why not memorialize it in fucking digital media for the end of it?
I'm so excited for this story.
So the guy, and I used to only do it during the holiday season, right?
Trevor's going from
Christmas.
hourglass to minute hand right now.
And this guy came, he used to greet me. He used to come in every now and then, right? And he used to greet. And he was very super friendly. And like when I was 19, I honestly... this was probably in the early 90s, 1990s. I honestly didn't know that there was there was this thing called gay. I actually didn't know. It was unknown to me.
This thing.
I honestly didn't know there were these kind of sexual
Jesus
preferences.
Fucking Christ.
Or even if I did know, it was like it was something that nobody ever came into my circle.
I remember the first day the first time that I figured out what gay was. It was in a movie, and my parents had to explain it to me, and I was so fucking upset.
Yeah, well, this guy propositioned me.
I think I understood it as soon as I understood that the men liked women.
No,
no.
I didn't. So the guy, every time he used to come to and you're kind of in an elevated area, right? So, doing the promotions, and the guy used to greet me, and then eventually he came to me and he then asked me, like in a very direct way. I didn't know what to say. I probably didn't do any more announcing for the rest of the Friday afternoon. He was like, I'd like to give you a blowjob. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
How did you respond?
I couldn't say a word.
After I was done, I went back to work.
I was absolutely silent.
I guess I'm curious, like, did you get angry?
No.
Were you,
I was embarrassed.
Was it a compliment? Like, you're like, thank you for wanting to do that, but that's not me?
No, I was actually, what I should do is actually, if somebody asked me again, I would prepare an answer. But right now, if you were to say that to me right now, I wouldn't have an answer either. I'd be embarrassed. And at the time, I don't know what I thought really. I thought maybe it was.
What the fuck is going on, man?
It was crazy.
You're fucking blown away.
I'm a nice guy, you know, so I may have been greeting him maybe in a very kind of, inviting way, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that's an unwanted sexual advance, regardless of gender.
Yeah, but remember, in the 1990s, there was none of that kind of stuff, right? So if somebody came up to me, I couldn't phone the manager and say, hey, listen, this guy, he's a stalker or something. We just left it at that. It was just, never told the story.
It's a lot to break down.
My wife doesn't even know that story.
How the hell are we supposed to follow up or segue from that?
I don't know. I mean, there's so much there. Like, he's alleging that because Me Too hadn't happened yet, he had the inability to rectify an unwanted sexual advance from another man that took place when he was 19.
Is that
illegal? No, it's not illegal.
It's just unwanted.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you act on it, I mean, you could say anything you want to anybody.
Yeah.
But, it's freedom, fucking First Amendment right.
I was too shocked, So here's the thing.
Were you in America?
No.
Okay, so I don't fucking know if it's illegal or not.
No, I don't know.
Here it's not illegal.
It was
However,
definitely,
if you act on it or you do it more than once, it can become illegal.
well, I can say in the 90s, I don't even think there was even any procedures or anything like that.
I mean, I can assure you that in the 90s, it was illegal to sexually assault people. So what I'm saying is that just walking up to somebody and going, hey, you want to give me a blowjob? Not illegal. If you follow them around like, hey, how about that blowjob? How about that? Now you've created an illegal scenario, and I'm quite certain, in America at least in the 90s, that was still a no-no.
Yeah.
And illegal. I mean, that's technically stalking now, I think, under the law. You can call it assault because it's a fear of an unwanted contact. So assault for sure, probably stalking. So, yeah, illegal if they do it more than once. But once... it's like trespass. If you're on property, it's not trespassing if you're able to be there until you're told to leave. If you stick around, now it becomes trespassing. I guess is the most input I have there legally.
What's the legality of not trespassing but throwing flower seeds in somebody else's yard?
So, okay. So, it theoretically is a projectile onto somebody's property is also trespass. If it causes damage, you could argue burglary. Now, also though, criminal mischief is the first and foremost. So if you did something to somebody else's property that causes less than $50 damage, which is what I would argue flower seeds. So if somebody threw flower seeds onto your property, you now have to mow that lawn, which has a cost. It's extremely low, but there is a cost. And that crime would be criminal mischief under $50, which is second-degree misdemeanor, punishable by 60 days in jail, 6-month probation, or a $500 fine. There you go.
Okay. Well, it's not illegal if you don't get caught.
Oh, nice. So you did, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't comment.
I wouldn't admit to a crime.
No comment.
As your attorney, I'd advise you not to do that.
Oh,
so, yeah, hourglass dicks, unwanted gay sexual advances for PR. We're hitting all fucking marks today.
Gee.
Been a while since I've seen you guys. I got to tell you, I missed you, though. It's been a minute.
You missed my musk?
I did. I also miss interacting with you on my normal plane of existence, which is with alcohol in my system.
You're back.
I am. All the way back, baby. All the way back. How you been? What else is going on?
Winding out this health deal, approaching my goal pretty quick. I think I undershot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 2 weeks out. I thought it was going to be today, tomorrow, but I think I have 2 more weeks. So excited to get back to eating.
What's going to change?
The amount of calories and carbs that I eat.
Oh, rock and roll.
But I'm gonna ride the momentum of the lessons learned from being healthy.
Right.
Eat clean, count my calories and macros, and turn this into a longer experiment for getting bigger and staying healthy.
Cool.
I feel fucking great.
You're looking great.
It's my bones don't ache. Like for example. Zephyr Hills 5-gallon water jugs are delivered to the house. I have to carry them from the front door up a flight of stairs to where the water cooler is. But pre December, everything was hurting, cracking, popping. They were heavy. Now it's no problem. I think inflammation, all that shit. It's pretty fucking great, man.
How about your abstinence journey? Is that over?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congrats on that.
Yeah, I went well over the 40 days. And then I guess to be totally transparent, I was working on tantric chi energy at the tail end. For the final 2 weeks, I was edging.
Yeah.
You're familiar with the practice?
I am familiar with the
practice. Which was...
But why don't you define it for our listening public?
I don't know if I want to do that. I guess. So
I can define it if it makes you feel better.
You bring yourself to the brink of orgasm and stop.
Yes.
The idea, which I was working on, was, I think we've talked about this, was to decouple orgasm and ejaculation.
Yes.
And have total control over my central nervous system.
Have you succeeded in decoupling ejaculation and orgasm?
50%.
Okay. So 50-50. There are times where you've had an orgasm and not ejaculated?
Other way around.
You've ejaculated but not had an orgasm?
Correct.
That sounds like just a messy waste of time.
But
I would want the opposite.
But
I wouldn't.
No, I mean the idea is to go opposite.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say the value seems to be able to have an orgasm without making a mess.
I couldn't figure out how to flip it, and I figured 40 days was enough time spent at least in that.
This is some fucking wild shit, man.
Hey, I like taking shit to the extreme. You should see my cholesterol chart.
If you don't hit the fucking red line, you don't know how far you can go.
That's what I'm
saying.
Kenny
Loggins, danger zone.
I like it.
You gotta. The only people that know where the edge is are the ones that have gone over.
I mean, the only ones who know where the edge is are the ones who are good at edging. You could say.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I don't want to share in your journey. I think ingestion of calories, ingestion of alcohol, and full release are like 3 of the 5 reasons I exist. So. I'm not willing to give those 3 up.
I feel a little sabbatical from constant sensory overload is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. A sabbatical, yes.
So I did a 40-day sabbatical, a little hiatus.
Hiatus. Fair.
Yeah.
How about you, PR? How long has it been since you had full release?
Oh, man. I'll be saying. Maybe 24 hours.
He's like in the bathroom before we started recording.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm meditating.
I told you not to disturb me when I'm cleaning
Why
my
is
room.
the bathroom door locked?
Meanwhile,
do you lock your bathroom door when you go into the bathroom?
No.
In your house? No, I never do. Do you do?
No, I don't have. I have my bathroom is literally my upstairs second bathroom is fucking Nick space.
Okay.
Nobody else other than my maid and me are allowed in that fucking room. I don't have to do anything because nobody will ever come in that fucking room.
So no, I don't. We have a number of different bathrooms. So wherever I am, I kind of go in and use it. I've never locked any doors.
What do you do when you jerk off?
I can't tell.
Is that shower time that you were talking about?
Maybe I don't know. I'm not saying.
I just removed everybody's serene vision of you, soaped up, having great thoughts, and now they're thinking about you just fucking beating the pud.
Oh my,
pudding it.
So you're not going there.
You're not going to discuss your jack off habits.
Well, it would be in the normal spot that I'd say that most middle-aged men.
What exactly is that normal spot?
I'd say it's probably in the shower.
In the shower. See, that tells me that you're actually afraid of, I don't think
but
showers are a normal spot.
I don't ever lock the door, though.
I don't think showers are a normal spot. It's just not comfortable.
Why?
What do you mean, why? It's fucking wet. Dude, jerking off when you're wet is fucking terrible. Somehow, it makes it less lubricated to be wet. No, dude, it's a scenario. I have my own fucking room. I do whatever the fuck I want. It's fucking rad.
You have your private room.
I got I mean, I have my own room.
The room's covered head to toe.
No, I have my own room where, we live in a fucking 4-bedroom house. One of the rooms is just my room.
Private space.
And I have a recliner, and I have a big TV that airstreams to my phone. I just fucking chill, man. It's great. It's fantastic. That's the way to do it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have the experience of 40 days of tantric training to increase the level of my orgasm, but they seem just fine to me.
Yeah.
They do the job.
Well, it's like, discussing earlier the food journey that I'm on, and having removed restaurant food, processed food, and now raw zucchini tastes fucking amazing to me. Each different plant, each different zucchini has a different flavor, I guess, depending on how ripe it is, when it was harvested, if it's green, if it's not, or super dark green or not, has different flavors. And I don't think I ever appreciated that before. I think it's the same thing with
orgasm.
With orgasm, that if you break it down to kind of bare minimum without all the sensory overload, that you can enhance and enjoy it even more.
I mean, that's a great argument. I mean, to me, it's the same as it's a nutritional need for my body. Something that has to fucking happen, whether it's through sex, through by myself, whatever it is. It's functional.
There is some value though in what you're saying. Is that there's a book that I read some years ago called Holy Cow. I think I may have told you about this, Trevor.
You're gonna fucking relate. Hang on. You know what you're about to do? You're about to relate jerking off to a self-help book.
No.
That's what you're about to do.
The story about heightened senses.
No,
it's just about the heightened senses. Is
I
that
think you're fucking I think you're a specimen. I think you're the exception to the rule. Your ability to you're about to give us a self-help pump up about jerking off.
No.
I'm excited to hear
not
it.
about
Please,
jerking off.
Tell
So
me how
here's the
Holy
thing is
Cow
that-
relates to jerking
So
off.
there's the book called The Holy Cow, and it's about an Australian journalist that went over to India. Her husband was a journalist, and she hated everything about India when she was over there, because she saw, the poverty, the hygiene levels were so poor, all of those things, right? And then she decided to check herself into one of these retreats, a silent,
to make herself better.
a silent retreat, right? So she went to the extreme. And in the silent retreat, you can't even talk with your eyes. You can't talk to people with any sort of eye movement. You really just need to be silent. And what she found is that during that silent retreat that she went on for a week or two or whatever, she really started to have this heightened sense that you're talking about. And as a result of not speaking in any way, her taste buds were elevated, her eyesight, her hearing, her everything, because you now start to have to overcompensate because you're not being distracted by all the things. And that's why I talked about the shower at a point, is that when you give yourself an opportunity to just quieten your mind, where you're doing nothing else but just focusing on yourself, which is what a silent retreat very often is. You have the opportunity to actually now start to talk about, I sense the difference in taste of a zucchini. You tell me that, and I really do enjoy a zucchini pasta. I really couldn't tell you the difference in taste between a light green and a dark green. But clearly, you are having it not even in a pasta. You're just having it straight up raw.
Yeah, straight zucchini.
Just raw, baby.
I couldn't do that. That would be too much for me, right? But that's what happens when you get to that point of just quietening the mind and heightening your senses.
Quiet the mind, open the heart.
I think I'm ready for a retreat. One of those kind of
A silent retreat?
silent retreat.
I'm ready for the opposite of that. I'm ready for an
that.
overwhelming retreat. I want my senses overwhelmed.
I think we have enough overwhelming every day. Just every day, the whole day. It's we're having stuff thrown at us the whole day, all day. I think giving ourselves the opportunity to just quieten it down. That's why we spend so much money. I just saw the other day there's the Ritz-Carlton is opening a new place in the Masai Mara in Kenya. It looks gorgeous. And it's a retreat, and it costs $2,000 or $3,000 a night, but it's out in the middle of nowhere.
They're doing that to capitalize on fucking White Lotus. That's why they're doing that.
But
There's a fucking television show that espouses how fucking weird and cryptic it can be to go to some crazy locale that's super expensive, and Ritz-Carlton's copying that.
yeah, but
That's what
I
they're
do think that those that can't afford it, they spend all that money to go away to the middle of nowhere, right? And yet you can do it right here at home.
Yeah.
You don't need to go away.
I feel no desire to dampen down my resistance to the overwhelming stimulus that we have every day because it's not fucking going anywhere. You want to go fucking be a monk, PR,
Yeah, but I don't want to be. I'm not making. I mean, that's a lifetime commitment. I don't want to do that. But I'd like to be able to experience some of the things that we're talking about. For example, the heightened
intense
senses,
orgasm.
the heightened senses, whether it's the orgasm thing, because they do. But all the tastes, the hearing.
Do they? Well, wait a minute. Is it more intense?
What?
Orgasm. Now that you're dabbling in tantric,
I can make it.
you can make it more intense.
Yeah.
Is it so? It's not automatically.
It takes a lot of energy concentration. It's like a buildup. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's not chi. It's another kind of life force energy. This dovetails into my thought process on current state of people using sex for pleasure, which I think sex is pleasurable, but we're missing the point on procreation. I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with procreation, but I think that sex can be misused, and that so the bottom line for the deal is if you feel sexual energy, it might not necessarily, you might be confusing it with creative energy, and you can change an impulse of sexual energy into creating art or music or cooking food. I think it teeters along the same type of creation force. And now, because of the readily available pornographic websites, people are taking this creative energy and just blasting it in 5 or 10 or 15 minutes instead of putting time and effort into being a true transvestite and looking beautiful. Like, I mean, they're like, yeah, I'm just going to go rub one out, and it wastes some of the most beautiful energy that could be turned into a symphony, arrangement.
So first, the basis of this argument is that it's your opinion that the level of masturbation has gone up because of the ease of pornography use.
Yes.
So you think people jerk off more now than they did like in the Middle Ages?
Yes.
I disagree with that. I'd have to see something that would prove that to me.
Yeah, I have no...
I think maybe it's easy to say that our defenses are down, that we've been desensitized to certain pornographic images. But I don't agree that the human being masturbates more often now than they did. I think in the Middle Ages they were probably jerking off constantly because their fucking lives were of misery from start to finish. So the 1 second that you have of fucking not being upset and having an orgasm,
we're doing more of everything right now. I'm gonna try to make a parallel comparison. Read a stat. This is a hard stat. Hopefully it could maybe be used like a lawyer would to win a case or something.
Sure.
But like the stat was corporations invented snacks. Snacks were never a thing. It was 3 meals a day for working class, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And now we've added, because of the accessibility to Doritos or Fritos, to make more money, they're like, yeah, it's snack time. So I think that everything in this day and age has increased exponentially since from a historical standpoint.
the word snack was invented. The eating not during breakfast, lunch, or dinner has been around since the beginning of time. Until the Industrial Revolution, there was no set breakfast, lunch, dinner. It was just fucking eat when there's food. Like, so through most of human history, it was when there's food we eat, when there's not we don't. It got to Industrial Revolution where they have to make set schedules of people working. So you eat before you go to work. You eat in the middle of the day when you're at work and you're hungry, and then you eat when you get home and there's dinner. But like the word snacking was created, but the fucking eating all day is because of our unparalleled access to food that we have right now.
Well, that's why I'm saying the comparison, the parallel comparison would be pornography and jerking off. That everything is more readily available. Phones, you have access to pornography. You could at your work take a little jerk off break.
But
go
you
to the
could have done that
bathroom.
before. My point is,
I don't think it was because of the lack of devices. I don't think as many people did it as much before.
I think people fucking jerked off without those devices, without their being desensitized by other pornography. You could people used to jerk off to the Sears catalog. Like people used to jerk off to a picture of a friend who they had never hooked up with. Like I just don't see a correlation between the amount of masturbation and the proliferation of easily obtainable pornography. Where an argument could be had that I also am not educated enough on to posit an opinion would be the desensitization. Like, and I think there is a real ramification to relationships and intimacy with the proliferation of hardcore fucking pornography everywhere. But that becomes a responsibility argument. That becomes you as a person and a contributing member of society and your partnership need to fucking ease off of that shit so that you can enjoy your partner.
Yeah.
But that's, to me, not an argument that there's more of it, that we're creating these fucking masturbation zombies by having accessibility to pornography. But,
I do.
Yeah, fair.
Should
I
we
wish.
Oh.
should we go to
Is it nugget time
Yeah,
or is
it's
it
nugget
close
time.
Nugget,
time?
nugget.
What you got, bro?
Mother looking Funkler nuggets.
Ooh, nice transition.
I got a couple of nuggets.
But it's shoot.
So Monday I had a meeting. Had a like drink session. I thought it was a happy hour, but there was no happy hour at Hillstone. I must say, 4:00
Ooh, Hillstone.
at Hillstone. Absolutely outstanding. Disappointing they don't have a happy hour, which means all the prices are higher.
Of course, they don't need a fucking happy
Yeah,
hour.
I mean, but the bar is outstanding.
What'd you have?
I had red wine. I was there with Twyford, and he had both of us had red wine, and we ordered some snacks at the bar. It's
Some snacks.
some
What'd you
snacks.
have?
No, we ordered. So what I had was
God, you're
the,
such a fucking follower for the
So-
corporate fucking machine here in America having snacks, bro.
at the bar. You know, what I'm saying is that I didn't have a meal. I had I had just some fries, aioli fries, which was really good. I'm trying to think of the name. What's the thing that the deep fried signature dish at
Is it artichokes?
artichokes?
Ugh,
Yeah,
disgusting.
I had that grilled. It's the grilled artichoke,
Oh,
Yeah.
I love artichokes.
and
I hate
it was
artichokes.
really.
They're not
I don't
fucking food,
I don't
bro.
particularly care for it, but because
You
it
want to
was
talk about corporate influence? The fact that people have fucking convinced people that artichokes are food is fucking laughable. Artichokes are disgusting.
I love
Yeah,
artichokes.
I must say it was really
Jesus.
good. So we had those, and we had, so yes, the view. I'd have to say that it's the best view from a pub in Central
I mean,
Florida.
Hillstone is not a fucking pub, but beyond that, the view is fucking great.
No, I'm in the bar.
The sunset.
Yeah.
over
Yeah,
there
I'm in the
is
bar, looking
fantastic.
over the sunset over that lake. It's spectacular. And then I went from that really amazing setting. I went to a chain in Claremont on Wednesday night to Carrabba's. Do you guys know Carrabba's?
The
The
gem,
chain-
the gem of the southeast.
the Italian restaurant chain. Man, so I went there with really being very negative because I don't like chains and I don't like big restaurants. I prefer mom and pop shops. And I had a pork chop, which was very, very good.
Nice.
So let me not say it was. So here's the things, right? I like the fact that it was super well priced. Okay. So it was like $22 for a pork chop. They did it well. It was super juicy, right? It came with either a salad or a soup with the $22 for a pork chop, right? And I took the chicken noodle soup that came with it, and it came with two sides, right? I had spinach and French fries. So it was a great, and it was $22 for all of that. I mean, give me a break.
Carrabba's to me is an acceptable, casual, fast type place. I mean, I like Carrabba's. I like fucking Outback. I'm down with an Outback trip. I'm down with a macaroni grill. Like, I think it's the higher end of the tier, which I would argue includes Chili's or Applebee's.
So would you put Olive Garden below Carrabba's?
I'd put Olive Garden right at the same for his Carrabba's, in my opinion.
I must say that
I like Olive Garden. Is not good for you, and you can't fucking eat it very often. But it's like eating fast food.
So I've been to Olive Garden a few times. I would say personally, I would say Carrabba's is ahead of it. I don't like the pasta at Olive Garden. I've had it a few times now. I just can't get.
And you had pasta?
No, at Olive Garden.
No, at Carrabba's you had pasta.
No, I just had the pork chop.
So how the fuck do you know?
No, I'm just saying my dining experience was I saw it when I got there at the same level as Olive Garden, so I didn't want to order the same like pasta.
Gotcha.
And then I said, let me do the pork chop. And it just changed my experience.
All right. Nice.
So it was really good. So
and that was the one in Claremont?
Claremont. I had a meeting, and we were the last people there. I think the place, we got in there at 7 p.m. It was jam-packed. Like, we didn't make a reservation. So I thought, just kind of go in, because I have this stereotype. It's going to be, nobody goes to these places, right?
Oh, no. Claremont?
Oh, my gosh.
A place like Claremont, Carrabba's, Outback, the fucking Chili's are going to be slammed.
It was slammed.
Every night.
Couldn't get parking.
Yeah.
Get in there. And was fortunate it was a table for two. So, I was able to get like the last table for two. And we closed the place down. We were there.
You were there for 4 fucking hours?
Yeah, we were there. We left there at like 10:30.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's
and it was no, we went drinking. It was a meeting. So it was good. Good experience. I'll go back.
Can I discuss an Italian place that should be better than that, but was not?
Yep.
Panullos on Park Avenue. I went to.
Never heard of it.
I've had good experiences there.
It was not fucking good.
What'd you have?
Well, that could be part of it. I used to go to Panullos all the time. My business partner really used to like it, has stopped going for his own reasons, mostly because he's a big fan of fresh bread, and they changed their bread, and he was out. And I had gone, and I used to enjoy it. I went 2 weekends ago for a good friend's. They actually celebrated the fact that they had gotten engaged 20 years ago, and he had brought his now wife to Panullos after proposing Lake Eola. She's now a Supreme Court justice, Florida Supreme Court. He is now a high-ranking political figure and also law firm owner. So it was kind of like, cutesy, supposed to be going there. And they're some of my best friends that I've ever had in my entire life. And we went there. So it was a set menu, because there was a lot of us there. I had the chicken parm. Linda had the marsala, veal marsala. Made her sick. She got sick from it. Did not enjoy it at all. Chicken parm I did not enjoy. And I can just tell you, I get it. It was a set menu. Probably things are better. But I would have preferred a Carrabba's or a macaroni grill or an Olive Garden, to be honest with you. At least at Olive Garden, I can get the breadsticks with the fucking Alfredo boat. It's like crack. It's delicious. So, negative, unfortunately, a negative.
Was that just the one time that you've had a negative at Panullos?
So, yeah, I mean, yes, I could say that. I mean, I would never sit here and rant and rave about Panullos like I would Prato or other Italian place, El Pescatore's excellent Stefano's in Winter Springs. Everybody here knows how much I fucking hate Winter Springs, but Stefano's is excellent there. Would never rant about it, but it was always serviceable. It was always good. This was just a terrible experience. So a set menu could contribute to that, but I did have that experience, and I felt the need to report it. So especially with you raving about Carrabba's, in my head, I think I would have preferred a Carrabba's.
I mean, in defense, though, I must say
Did you say you've never heard of it?
Panullos?
Yeah. So it's next to Wine Room
next
on
to
Park
wine
Avenue.
room. It's the Italian
The bottom
place.
of my building. The front of my building. Well, the
But
Bank of
I must
America
say that I've been there, so I've been here now for 5 years. It was the first Italian restaurant that I went to in Winter Park when I came in here 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's been consistently, it's a kind of an average Italian diner. A good salad, a good pizza. When I say, run of the mill, it's nothing extraordinary, but it's going to be average. I've never been sick, and if I took a business person for a lunch there, not going to break the bank.
It is a great place for a business lunch. I agree.
Yeah.
How we doing? I got more nuggets. I could hold it, or I can explode all over the face of this podcast.
I've been sneaking over to Foxtail Coffee.
Oh yeah. You enjoy it?
I have become a little bit of a coffee snob. I'm going through different types of beans at home with my home brew, and narrowing down styles. Don't really think it's important to report details on that, but then on the way to work, I kind of get a second dose of caffeine, and Foxtail is on the way to the barbershop, and I like their nitro cold brew.
Yes, their nitro cold
like
brew is
a
good.
Guinness of coffee.
I agree.
And the atmosphere is pretty great over there. So every now, I think I've been scheduling coffees with friends every other Friday kind of deal, based on my new early bedtime. I'm not going out, so I feel like I need to get some FaceTime in. So coffee at Foxtail in that atmosphere and the nitro brew. Yeah, I think it's pretty decent.
Well, once you've converted into full fucking coffee snob, Ed and I will sit here and tell you, I think, about the places that are for full-blown coffee snobbery, which are Han and Lineage. That's the full-blown fucking...
Part of this deal, though, is convenience. So I'm not going to go out at,
Lineage
Foxtail,
and Han are not convenient for your
Foxtail
location.
is on the way to work. I can walk in the front door, grab the deal, walk out, be here. It's like a 5-minute reroute. I probably won't drive any longer to go pick up a different cup. So it's convenience and
I will tell you, when you talk about atmosphere, the atmosphere at that Foxtail on Orange is awesome.
Yeah,
I've always been a big fan of that, of the atmosphere. They're attached. They have Swine and Son food. If you ever want like a salad and shit, it's pretty good. Totally, the service has always been great. So I agree with that for sure.
Let's wrap this sucker up.
All right, baby.
Thank you for listening. DJ Young and the Restless is always a pleasure. PR,
our very own guiding light,
and the Prince of Misery, Niklaus Sedul. Thank you to Ed the Wizard and super producer. Let's see here. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. We love hearing from all of the fellow Funklers. Leave comments, questions, and requests. Connect with us on social media. Check out our Instagram. If we post a picture, we're there. We're live. Come say hi. Come do whatever we're doing. And we'll hang out. And
Wednesday nights, Fiddler's Green, baby, 7 to 9. Other than that, see you in the promised land.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.